Hi. This is like my first sort of video talking a bit about what the beginning of my journey trying to be an actress and a performer has been like, and some things I've actually been struggling with a lot, like in my first year of training at school and just in life. And I'd have to say it's sort of this fear of failure and not being perfect, and that's something that I've like dealt with for a long time in my life. I'm insecure that I won't be perfect the first time or even after that. I'm even insecure about failure and just failing, and that's why I procrastinate a lot of things. And I'm presented with the choice to make videos and content, and I've considered doing content before, but like it was so hard for me to wrap my head around it and just shut out that inner critic that I have in my head that tells me that I can't do that, nothing's going to come out of it, I'm not going to be good enough at it, I'm not going to be perfect at it. So it's like my brain's sort of wired to only want perfection and nothing else, and it's such a toxic mindset that I'm working really hard to undo, especially in my industry. Something else that I'm trying to work on is seeing myself perform, because being in this industry is about being okay with being seen just as you are, being okay with seeing myself on screen. If I am on screen, I do all these things to make myself prettier and make myself more presentable, and there's filters on TikTok that just help you get rid of all of this, but you can see it clearly. And at this point I'm like, who cares? That's just what my skin looks like normally. I'm only a teenager and growing, and my skin is going through a lot of things at the moment. I think it's ridiculous for me to be saying this thing. I'm an actress, but I don't really like being on screen. In my mind, there's this idea of perfection that I struggle with a lot, because it's just all-encompassing my life, especially in my studies. It's something that I wish someone had told me when I started, especially in the industry that I want to get into, which is the performing arts and acting, is this idea that you don't have to be perfect the first try. And that little voice in my head sometimes thinks like you can't be perfect. Like, how is that possible, right? But it's the truth, and it's something I've been really trying to wrap my head around, that I'm not going to be perfect the first time. I'm not going to be perfect the second or the third, and I need to keep working hard. So for the past few days, I've been really meditating, trying to think about where that comes from and where that sense of feeling like I need to be perfect comes from. And I was thinking a lot about media and how social media is like such a treasure trove of people living their life and being really successful and getting opportunities for things that they want to do and leveling up their careers and stuff. And while it's so inspiring and motivating to be watching that stuff, it makes me and probably a lot of people feel like it happened out of nowhere, and that they look amazing doing what they're doing and they do it so well, and why can't I do that? And that's because you don't get to see what goes on behind all of that and all the work and effort they've put in. Something I've been trying to remind myself constantly every time I watch social media, that no one is perfect, and they've tried that so many times before getting that perfect take, and it's okay to not be able to do it all. It's okay. I used to make to-do lists all the time, really try my best to finish them all in one day, and I'd get so distracted by social media, and then by the end of the day I've done 3 things off the list, and I would feel awful about myself. But it's actually okay not to be perfect, and to not all do it completely, or not to do it all perfectly to the highest standard. I'm so critical and afraid that I'm not going to do well and it's not going to go right for me. It causes me to be inactive, and so I end up not doing the things that I should be doing to advance myself towards my goals. That's also an issue, but I'm a human being trying to make it in this world. So few habits I'm trying to build. I'm really trying to get this habit of whenever I'm making content, whenever I'm saying something or I'm posting a TikTok and I'm dancing, and I make drafts on my TikToks of me just dancing around and doing whatever, I'm going to try to just upload it. If it stays there and no one gets to see me, I don't get to practice that detachment and letting go and just letting people see me as I am, as crazy and as stupid and as ridiculous as I am. And I'm really going to be working on that, just not caring about the content that I put online and just posting it and not looking back. Like, don't look back, because I also like to write a lot, and I find with projects and stuff, I start them, but sometimes I put them aside because I'm worried about finishing them, and I'm worried about what people are going to think about them. And because of that, that makes me feel like maybe I shouldn't keep going with it. And so I procrastinate it for months and months, and before you know it, like, that project has been dropped. What I'm trying to do is just write and, like, don't look back. Don't spend time looking back at it. So if you're like me and you are really critical and shy or afraid of doing what you want to do because of judgment or because you feel like it's not good enough or not perfect, I think you should just post it, just do it, just make the artwork, write the book, do whatever you want to do, because it'd be such a shame to not put that out in the world for other people to see and to not let people see you as a person. You only have this sort of lifetime to live, and it's just so much better if you can just put that out. And then you have things to look back on, because you can look back and laugh at it, or you can look back and really see the progress you've made over time because you filmed yourself doing that. So you practice that and you actually did it, a whole library of things that you've done in the past and your progression. And I think that's such a beautiful thing. Appreciate that. Life isn't perfect, people aren't perfect, and that's the beautiful thing about life, because if we were perfect, then what would be the point, you know? There'd be nothing to strive toward. That's my little reflection. Hopefully in a few days coming up, I'll be posting more content from my TikToks and maybe a few monologues coming up, but hope you like this little reflection video. If you took anything from it, if you have any comments or thoughts that you want to express, let me know, and see you later.